For over a millennium, the Quran has been read primarily as a spiritual guide, but beneath the ink and parchment lies a rigid structure. The text is divided into exactly 114 distinct chapters, known as surahs. Within these 114 chapters, exactly 29 open with a sequence of isolated Arabic letters. Traditional analysis has long treated these disconnected preambles as mystical unknowns, meant to be recited rather than analyzed. Viewed through the lens of information theory, these sequences function as structural metadata. They serve as the master grid infrastructure for the entire text, acting as a set of global protocols that organize the laws within the data that follows. To understand this layout, we have to move away from subjective interpretation. Decoding these letters requires a rigorous rationalist audit, treating the text as a high-density data packet where every character performs a specific functional role. Approaching the text as an operating system provides the only clear path to understanding how the source organizes its universal laws into a functional, coherent system. This schematic represents the complete Arabic alphabet, consisting of 28 letters. In the audit of the 29 preambles, we find they utilize a very specific subset, the prime 14. The system precisely bisects the alphabet. Exactly 14 letters are selected to construct the mysterious headers, leaving exactly 14 letters behind for use elsewhere. This first group functions as global protocols. They form the master grid infrastructure, appearing exclusively at the start of those 29 specific chapters to initialize the data. The remaining 14 letters act as local operators. They are used exclusively within the payload of the text, but are never permitted to function within the headers themselves. This exact 14-14 split creates a structural balance the text calls mizan. It serves as a mathematical fail-safe, preventing data corruption by ensuring the headers and the payload remain functionally distinct. If these headers are essential for data integrity, why do they only appear in 29 chapters? In any communication system, a metadata tag is only useful if it distinguishes one dataset from another. If every chapter used a header, the signal would be neutralized. The text refers to its own structure as a header chapter. It defines the mechanics of how biological life is restored to barren earth. Because these underlying physics are hard-coded in the header of Qaf, subsequent modules like Surah al-Waqiah can describe the physical collapse of the world without having to restate those primary laws. The headers serve as a systemic alert. They warn the reader to prepare for high-density, theoretical data before the system executes its localized commands. We can now define these disconnected letters as the atomic preamble of the text. They represent the raw components of language, isolated and weighed before they are synthesized into the detailed explanations found in the rest of the book. These 29 sequences are the specific access points where the source provides the primary initialization codes needed for the auditor to begin a structural analysis of reality. The resulting architecture is a mathematically perfect grid. With exactly 29 units emitting a synchronized signal, the text presents a system where the laws of evidence are hard-coded into the linguistic structure itself, independent of human subjectivity. This shift in understanding replaces passive recitation with the active task of performing a full system audit. It requires checking the text's internal logic against its own established standards. The final result of this audit is clear. The truth of the source is not accessed through blind emotion, but through the relentless application of reason, a process the text defines as al-aqlal.